Welcome to the new weekly report about self-taught developer. And this is my journey where I share the details every week what I have accomplished by learning JavaScript and Node.js as a backend. Just a minute, I need to fix this microphone a little bit better. This is okay. Now, this week I have worked on the backend still because I'm still working on the Node.js and JavaScript, and what I have finished this week is that to save the data from the API, make the calculation, and also make the calculation of the strength. So I have three tables inside Postgres database, which I'm then pulling, and I'm preparing the data for showing on the chart. This week the goal was to show this data as in on the chart, but I have seen that I have errors in the code, so I have checked the code and a little bit clean it. For example, I have made another function that is used for at least 2 times. So instead of using the same code 2 times, I have made a function that has been called. So this is a little bit easier to create inside the code, to have a little bit cleaner the code, and it is easier to read. Then what I have found, there was still errors about saving the data and reading the data from the database, because I have several arrays that I will need to use in the calculation of the strength of each of the currencies. It will take a little bit more time until I fix this one. And what you can see, whenever I make some kind of change during the day, because I'm working in the morning for 2 hours, I'm saving that on the GitHub. So you can see when I have saved changes here on the GitHub account, which you can also follow if you would like. So this is my progress, where I each day from Monday to Friday save the data and work on the project, and you can see the progress on the GitHub. There is nothing I have changed on the self-taught developer website. It's still the same, because everything what I'm currently working is on the back end. So there is nothing to show you too much, except I would like just to mention that what I have learned this week is that I had an issue understanding how to, for example here, just a minute, when I read the data from the API, I received this data as array or the object. So I didn't understand what is the difference, and also how to access all the data inside the Node.js with specific, is it array or is it object? So I had a problem, and I have learned a little bit more to understand what is the logic. For example, this is here an array with the symbols, 7 of them, and I know how to get into each of these symbols inside this array, which is a symbol. So you need to put here where it is, you need to put here, when you are doing a for loop, you need to put here position of each of the symbol. On the 0 is USD euro, on the 1 is USD GBP, and up to 6. But inside the object, when you are accessing that object, you need to go like this with the dot. For example, var e has a dot rows dot length, so it has rows where you access specific data, and that is especially when you have an API, which usually comes in as an object, and sometimes you need to make a JSON parsing, which means switching from the if the API data is a string, then you need to change it into object that is easily accessible inside the JavaScript Node.js. So this was something that I did not understand completely, and I didn't want to simply use the logic, and that is just use like this an array, then call it with a for loop, and that's all. I didn't want to learn like that. I wanted to learn what is the logic and what is happening behind, so I can easily understand when something in the future comes similar, I will know how to use it. So this is the basic issue I had this week. Second one I would like to mention is it's not easy to work only 2 hours, because when you come here into the code, which currently has 400 rows, line of code, so it's not easy to come back and then start to work on the project, because you need to get into the project, understand the logic of the code, and then figure out the solution of the problem you have. And then you need to make the tests, and then again tests, and I'm doing that with the console log inside the terminal, and everything takes time. So 2 hours, when you start working on this kind of a project, you need at least 50 minutes to 1 or 2 half hour to understand the logic, and then to move a step forward. And then when you have an issue, then you need time to think about the solution and then figure out how to solve that inside the code. And then when you have that solution, you need to put it in the code, test it, run it, see the database, is it okay, and then continue forward. So I can make a conclusion that 2 hours per day is not enough when working on the project, especially when you're a beginner, when you're just learning. It takes at least, I would say, 4 hours per day is enough, and 2 hours is a minimum to learn how to code as a beginner, at least what I can see right now, because you need time to test, to think about, and then those 4 hours enough. The rest of the day is good to get the rest, because you need to refresh your mind, and especially it's very good to learn in the morning when you get up, because you're completely fresh, your brain is empty, ready to learn something new, and you're not under the pressure or with all the tasks that you have in your daily routine. For example, daily job, family, jobs, outside, hobbies, and so on and so on. So this is a conclusion that I would like to mention and share with you, because this is something very important. So if you're planning to learn, try to learn in the morning for 4 hours at the most, and 2 hours at the minimum. So this is something that I would recommend for anybody who asks me how much to learn at the start. So this is basically what I wanted to share this week. For the next week, I'm still planning to fix the code, because currently I am doing this only for this one, and this is one array, because I need to have them, just a minute, at least 7 or 8 arrays that I need to put here inside the code. So for each array, I need to build the code that is universal for all the arrays. So if I change the symbol 1, symbol 3, symbol 4, the rest of the code should be general, universal for all of them, because I do not want to have for each array specific part of the code. It's too much. Always I want to automatically to have everything done with one of the functions that can be used. So this is also the goal for me. The next week it will take time, and I'm expecting for the next 2 months I will need time to finish the code, and also to start with the chart. So currently it is 15th of March, so around in the May I hope to finish it completely, the website with charts. But I will see how it goes. Maybe when I find the solution, maybe this will be much faster, or I will expect some kind of obstacles when I start working with the chart and putting that on the front end. So this will be a great goal, and also it will be a great challenge. So I'm really looking forward to see how it will go, and I really like to work on the problems. This is pretty interesting, and when you see all the results that you get when you put the data inside the database, then you pull them outside and then show them, it will be a great result to see that you are moving forward, and when you see the result of your efforts. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below the video, and see you next time. Happy coding!